Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video, and today we have a mod showcase video on the F1 2018 game for Formula 2. That's right, the sub-category of Formula 1. It's actually been modded onto the game in a pretty decent fashion, I'd say, in my opinion, and I'm looking forward to bringing this video to you guys. Now, first of all, let's get a few things out of the way. Now, first of all, this is modding, therefore this is on PC. You cannot mod on PS4 or Xbox. Very, very important. Also, in terms of the modding itself, it's still very early, in my opinion, development stage. At the moment, we have the names of the drivers, we have the team names, we have the car liveries, and recently the driver suits. That's all there is at the moment. There's no helmets, possible face textures, no menu changes, and generally there's quite a few things that have not been changed yet, and they could be. So, in my opinion, this is a mod that has a lot of potential going into the future, and it could really be one of those top mods that you look back on at the end of the game cycle and say, that was a really good mod. And in my opinion, if this mod does get better and better, and people that are very good at modding do get on this and try to improve it, then I think this would be one mod that I will do a series on sometime later on down the line, because it's got incredible potential. Now, with that being said, bear that in mind when you watch the videos. So, for example, you'll see some different normal textures. I think in this particular video, because I recorded this before the update, they've still got the original Mercedes Ferrari, the actual F1 team race suits, but there has been a patch now for the updated F2 suits. I'll leave a link down below to the mod. It's on race department, and like I mentioned before, it's PC only, so you cannot get it on PS4 or Xbox. So yeah, do it for yourselves, give it a go. I thoroughly recommend it, and it's great fun. Also, one last bit of sort of things I want to get out of the way. If you guys are regular viewers of my content and you did not watch the video I put out yesterday for career mode, I urge you to watch it. There'll be a card in the top right corner of the screen this entire time. It's a critical video, and personally I would honestly recommend you watch it, because it was a crazy race, and I mean the worst car on the grid, and I'm basically up against it, and it's my last chance to score points, and I need to get something out of the bag here. So I do urge you guys to watch that if you have missed it. But other than that, that's all the stuff I need to say out of the way, and now we're going to jump straight into the video. Right then, here we are on the game menus. Now, first of all, you can see on screen no real F2 overlays or graphics. For sure, that's something they could probably put in the game as well. Normally with modding, they tend to make custom menus for whatever it is, and you could easily do some F2 inspired menus for this. But for now, it's still the standard F1 menus. Now, we're going to jump into a quick race here. So, into Grand Prix mode, into the modern cars. And as you can see, the cars in the background are the actual F1 cars. Again, that could also be updated, but for now, we've got to go off of the name. So we've got Carlin, ART, Dams, Campos, Trident, Pertamino, which is basically Prema, MP Motorsport, Russian Time, Charouz, and BWT Arden. So all in all, the full grid pretty much. And yeah, we're going to have a little quick race. Now the question is, who do we go for? Now I'm kind of leaning towards the champion himself, Mr. George Russell, but also maybe Lando Norris. I do like my boy Lando. We kind of cheered for him in Spa, so I think I might go Lando. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Lando Norris. Why not? Because he's the main man. Again, you can see there Lewis Hamilton and Bottas, but it's actually Norris and Seta Kamara. So yeah, we're going to go with Lando Norris, and we're going to do a quick little 5-lap race. Now the question is, which track do we go for? Because I tried to do this at Abu Dhabi. I can't do Abu Dhabi because the video will get a copyright. So we're going to have to do it around a different track, one that they actually race on the calendar. So I'm thinking something a bit different. Maybe something like Silverstone, maybe. I think I want to do Silverstone. Yeah, I think that could work. I think that could be quite interesting. So we'll go Britain, and also, as you can see, difficulty 110. We're going to do a little 5-lap race. No qualifying, no practice. Just going to jump straight into it pretty much. Gameplay settings, that's all fine. We've got all the simulation on there. Assists all off as expected, and also weather-wise, we'll go clear weather, and session start time we'll go for official. Let's just jump into it.
Welcome to Silverstone, home of the British Grand Prix. This iconic track held the very first World Championship Formula 1 race back in 1950, and it's a firm favourite amongst the fans and drivers alike. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of the Silverstone circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula 1. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, along with 2 DRS zones on the Wellington and Hangar Straights respectively. But the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. I'm joined again today by none other than Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, obviously there's a lot of development work that goes on with these cars between the races. You've been both a test driver and a race driver. What differences are there in the way you approach those roles?
Interesting question, Crofty. They're two very different mindsets. I mean, when I tested for BAR, we had full in-season testing where, per driver, you'd cover up to 15,000 kilometres per season. And in that role, it was more about working for the team, trying to help them improve the car and drive as systematically as you could, so that that data could be analysed in the most consistent way. When you're lining up on the grid for a race, however, your frame of mind's all about what you can get out of the situation on that day, and the car's the tool to help you achieve what you want. You still want to focus on setup, of course, but it's more about the here and now, getting yourself as far up the field as possible, and less about development work for the future.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Raikkonen, Lewis Hamilton and Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Perez, Alonso and Carlos Sainz, Ocon, Magnussen, Roman Grosjean and Van Dorn, Gasly, Hartley, Marcus Ericsson and Sergei Sorokin. Stroll and Charles Leclerc rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right then, here we are on the grid at Silverstone as Lando Norris. We are P5 on the grid. You can see already on the steering wheel, it's a little bit bugged out. Again, these little inconsistencies with the car, because every single car, as I mentioned before, is exactly the same. It's basically a generic F1 2018 car model, and it's actually the exact same car that's in F1 Mobile Racing, and it actually looks pretty similar to the F2 cars pretty much, with the exception of maybe the shark fin. But all in all, very, very excited for this. I'm looking forward to it. Something different, something fresh. Also, the dash display on the wheel, you can see it's actually mirrored. It's back to front. Already that's been fixed in the community forums, I think I saw the other day. So they're constantly developing this mod, and this mod's going to get a lot better over time, and hopefully it does become a very, very top downloaded mod, a very exciting mod for the future. But with that being said, we are here at Silverstone, and let's just jump into a race, a 5-lap race, and have a little bit of fun, and let's see if we can mix it up with the big boys. It's time for the British Grand Prix here in Formula 2. Let's go. Right, here we go then. Let's get ready for the 5 red lights here at Silverstone. Lights are on, and they are off. Away we go. Not a terrible start by any means. That's actually not too bad. Got cars on the inside though, got to be careful. Alexander Albon there. Oh no, actually Nick De Vries making the move. Albon's behind. We're kind of boxed in here on the outside line as Nick De Vries does make the move. We're going to have to settle in behind him for now. You'll see that a little glitch, which is, I think, is actually the tail light, which kind of floats up in the air above the rear wing. That's just a little glitch with these cars. Again, that might get fixed. You never know. Hopefully it does. Meanwhile, though, into Brooklands and Luffield, a lot of understeer early on, just trying to get a feel for the car. Russell and Seta Kamara going side by side here, and it looks like, I think it's Latifi up front who's got the jump start, who's got the whole shot pretty much, and got the best out of everybody. We've got Albon all over the back of us here into Copse, trying to look for the move down the inside, but no way through. Look a little bit wide there through the exit. Luckily, no track extension warning as we now go into Magus and Beckett's for the first time this race. Russell has now been overtaken, so Russell dropping back another position here as we now go onto the hangar straight for the first time. Can we make a move here on Nick De Vries and try and get that position back? Here we go. Can we get in the slipstream on that Russian time car down the inside on the brakes into Stowe? It's a late move, but we're going to go for it and we make it work. And we are back up into P5, our original starting position, making the move on Nick De Vries there. And now it looks like Seta Kamara all over the back of Latifi for the lead of this race, and this lead pack coming straight back together again, a la GP2 to be honest, where everyone runs so close. We're going to keep it in rich mix though, because we've got enough fuel pretty much for the entire 5-lap race. We get a track extension warning for the first time through turn 1 there, cutting that corner a little bit too much. Got both ART cars as well in pretty much a procession with Russell just in front of Jack Aitken. But let's see if we can try and find some pace here. These guys are pulling away, so we need to respond. We need to close the gap, so let's try and get the hammer down a little bit. Still a long way to go, 5-lap race, there's a lot that can happen, but for sure we need to close up in case these guys do start battling. We want to be at the sharp end, ready to strike and pounce for those high positions. So let's try and focus here and have a good lap if we can, and hopefully, I know I'm strong through, literally starting from about now, this is where I'm very strong through Copse, Maggots, Beckett's, all these corners is where I'm pretty competitive, so we can close the gap through here, that'd be great. Let's try and get a nice run through Magus Beckett's. We've got, I think, some side-by-side action up front here for the lead of the race. We're just going to really compromise the leaders through these corners. And it looks like, yeah, Latifi and Seta Kamara are still side-by-side. And I think Seta Kamara is actually taking the lead of the race. All kicking off here now. Russell's going for a move. You can see in front. And Aitken as well. Multiple two-wide action. Aitken has to back out. And there's been contact. George Russell is off the track. He rejoins dangerously at Stowe. Yellow flag behind. I wonder if there's maybe some contact behind us. But meanwhile, Seta Kamara now leads the race. Latifi down a second, Aitken third, and we are P4. Russell's rejob behind us in P5, but he's dropped back a little bit. Reset the far side of the Grand Prix though, which is good to see. Let's see, can we win this race from P5 on the grid? DRS is now enabled, so we can try and go racing here with these guys. Russell behind us really dropped back, so we haven't got to worry about that. We can now focus on what is in front of us and hopefully make these overtakes. Aitken's going to be all over the back of Latifi here, and I think Latifi won't have DRS on Seta Kamara, so Aitken might get a chance to get past him. Maybe he plays his cards right, doesn't quite commit to the overtake though, which is good news for me because I can keep on closing this gap. I seem to have good pace, maybe faster than anybody else, just a bit. Kamara's in the same car as me, obviously he's my teammate, so to be expected. We seem to be working pretty well around this circuit in the Carlin, but let's try and close up to this front three. Aitken is all over the back of Latifi at the minute, absolutely all over the back of him as we now go into Maggots and Beckett's here. Let's once again try and get the momentum. The DRS is enabled, so I want to try and have it, but I think I'm a little bit too far back. I missed the detection point by quite a way. A little bit wide there on the exit of Chapel, got to be careful. Gap 7-10, somehow we don't have DRS though, which is unfortunate, but will Aitken go for the move? No, he does not. So again, they're remaining single file, but because of the slipstream, they've actually closed all the way up to Kamara again. And the slipstream really powerful, it seems, in this mod, which is fine, makes sense. GP2 cars are, well, F2 cars are very similar in terms of they're all the same, so the slipstream is pretty consistent across the board. Latifi with the fastest lap, we actually can't match it, so maybe we're just on a struggle for pace here in terms of keeping up with these leaders. Maybe we need them to start battling for us to have a chance of catching up to these guys. Got to say, this car is great fun to drive though. It's very, very easy to get to grips with. Very easy to have relatively decent pace. Again though, we're out of DRS unfortunately, which sucks. I do think I can close the gap though if they have a little bit of side by side, which they are having now. I could just see there Seta Kamara and Latifi trying again. Latifi though doesn't get the job done, ultimately falls short, but they're just dropping back into my clutches a little bit here. I need a little bit more. I need a bit of a special Cops corner to be honest, and a very special Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel to really close this gap up. And that is more like it. Flat out 7th gear this time. Now we need a good run through here through the S's. They're all literally following each other at the minute, so it's all going to kick off now on this hanger straight. So we need to be close to the action for when it does. Right, let's see what happens here then. They're all really, really close this time round. And I think, yeah, Aitken's going for the move down the inside into Stowe. Looks like Seta Kamara's kept the lead. We're on a bit wide there. Latifi and Aitken side by side still into the Val chicane. We're going to go hot on the brakes to really try and close up this gap. We're going to have DRS on these guys going on to the last lap of the Grand Prix, so we've come alive at the right moment. Both of these guys have DRS as we go into turn 1. Got to be careful here. There we go, we get the momentum. Latifi a little bit slow. We're going to pull alongside. Down the inside. Can we get it done? Yes, we do, but Latifi there holding it side by side. I can't commit to the move because I've got Aitken in front and I can't take him out. We do get past Latifi though, just about. Aitken's vulnerable. This is our chance to get past him. Can we go for it? Aitken goes defensive. We commit to the move down the inside for P2. There it is. Good stuff. And we are past for now. Can we survive the rest of the lap? That's the question. Let's try and pull away if we can. Kamara leads the way. My teammate doing a great job out front. And here comes Aitken again out of nowhere into Cops. I'm going to have to leave some room, and he makes it. I was not going to hold it around the outside there. Jack Aitken making the move, but we are behind him, so we're going to pick up DRS on him. Going through Maggots and Beckett's. Just got to try and set up the exit through here on the power. There we go. Good run. Good bit of traction in the slipstream. Can we get past ART? Pull to the inside. Aitken doesn't defend. And the move is done for second place. Kamara still leading the way. And it looks like we're going to bring this one home in P2. Final couple of corners here. It's going to be a 1-2 for the Carling team. Great stuff. Final corner and across the line, and that was a 5-lap race of the Formula 2 mod at Silverstone. Great fun, and we ultimately pick up a second place podium at Lando Norris's home race. And there we have it then, looking at the final race results. Seta Kamara wins, and we come home in P2. Jack Aitken rounds off the podium. George Russell with that contact earlier on, ultimately P4, missing out on the podium in his home race. Nicholas Latifi, the man on pole, ultimately finishes P5, disappointing one for him. And then Nick De Vries beats Luca Giotto, Alexander Albon, Roberto Meri and Sean Gulal to a top 10 finish. And then we've got Makino, Boccolacci, Fuoco, Deletraz, and further down we've got Fukuzumi, Tictum, Maini, Markolov, Lorandi and Nico Kari rounding out the top 20 there. But that is it for the F2 race here at Silverstone. If you guys did enjoy this little mod showcase video, then please do drop a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. There'll be a link down below to the mod for yourselves to go download it on Race Department, only on PC of course, as you can only mod the F1 game on PC. And again, this mod, take your time, have patience. This will be a very good mod over time, I've got a feeling. And once the really good modders get their hands on this, it's going to become a really exciting and overall a very complete mod. And I think this might actually be the best mod in the F1 2018 game this year's game cycle basically. So I do urge you to have patience, and hopefully it does come good. I'll be disappointed if it doesn't, put it that way. So yeah, all in all guys, if you did enjoy the video, drop a like. Also do get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content and turn on notifications to not miss a single video from me. And finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on my next video very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.